Welcome to Wellness Made Easy. In this powerful revisited episode from August 2023, Larry Logsdon joins Dr. Bob Martin, host of the largest weekend syndicated health talk show in America, to talk about a condition millions silently endure, shingles. What's really triggering these painful outbreaks? Why are even younger adults now at risk? And could a fruit-based remedy offer lasting relief without side effects? You won't believe what one 90-year-old has to say about her recovery.
All right, let's turn our attention to, as promised, the topic of shingles in America. And as I mentioned, I've had the honor and the privilege of treating many patients over my years of practice that were suffering with shingles. They either had an acute breakout, the rash that comes on the surface, they had perhaps the underlying internal shingles, or they had post-herpetic neuralgia, the pain that comes with shingles affecting the nerves tissue, the nerve cells, and there was virtually nothing that could help them medically because it is one of those conditions which you can try all you want with all the pharmaceutical drugs that it pretty much does squatola, and most of the time it actually makes them worse because now they got a side effect from a drug on top of the pain and the suffering they're going through with the shingles. So we decided to tackle this topic, and our special guest is joining us. His name is Larry Logsdon. He's a functional food researcher and chemist specializing in the medicinal and health-giving properties and benefits of exotic fruits. Larry founded Tahiti Trader in 1998. Tahiti Trader manufactures and distributes noni juices throughout the U.S. and internationally. And it just so happens that customers of Tahiti Trader Noni have reported to Larry Logsdon that they have benefited with their shingles situations. This is anecdotal. I get it. It's a testimony. I get that. But when customers unsolicited are calling back to the company that they got their Tahiti Trader Noni Juice from and saying, you know what, I got to share this with you to try to help other people out, it gets your attention pretty quickly. Now, shingles in America, the discussion will be how on earth does a fruit that you may not have never heard of, you may have never drank it or tested or tasted it, noni, how in the heck can that help prevent or fight something as brutal as shingles, a shingles outbreak? Well, it's estimated that about 1 in 3 people in the U.S. will develop shingles, also known as herpes zoster, in their lifetime. An estimated 1 million people will get shingles each year right here in America. 1 million people. If you've ever had chicken pox, you can get shingles. You can. And so we've asked Larry to come on the program to discuss this and to help people out because God forbid you ever get it, but you may run across somebody who has it, or maybe you've already had it again. You fear getting it again. And Larry, welcome back to the program, Larry Logsdon.
Hey, good morning, Dr. Bob. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking up the challenge to get on here and talk about this subject, which is not often talked about. Not enough anyway. Now, let's begin with the basic stuff, Larry. Let's just lay it out there. For those listeners who may not be aware of it, what is shingles?
Well, basically, shingles is it's the chicken pox. It's that virus that we had when you were a kid, and then it reignites itself later on in life and comes back to get you.
Yeah, that's right. It's brutal when it does, and now people are here. I don't think maybe the last 5 years, maybe 10 years, nobody heard commercials on television that you're going to get shingles, and they just scary commercials. And if it gets into your eye, you're going to be blind, and you're going to be it's so painful. You wish you weren't even alive. I mean, those commercials are scary. Those drug companies are coming at people hardcore with the fear mongering. All right, so is shingles a condition, Larry, as contagious? Can people pass it on to one another, pretty much?
Not really, Bob. It's one of those things that if you've got it, you've got it. You could, I guess, transmitted if you let someone get near your open sores. That might do it, but I don't think you're going to find most people can actually transmit it. You've got it usually. Most people do, though. They've had it around for years and years and years. It's another herpes virus.
Yeah, that's what it is. And I think I've read somewhere where the pustules, if you have active pustules on the surface, and let's say they're popping out and oozing out or something, it's possible you could spread it that way. But other than that, I don't think so. At least that's my understanding. At least from the vantage point of treating patients with it myself. Does shingles occur only in elderly adults? Because that seems like when I watch the commercials, it's sort of targeting the senior citizens mostly.
Well, that's what they target, and largely I think you see that seniors get it more often because it's their immune system that gets compromised as they grow older, and also they have more traumas that come along as they've grown older. But now, Dr. Bob, we are seeing people much, much younger, even teens that are coming up with it, and it has to do with trauma and stress. It just affects anybody with that kind of problem. In fact, Dr. Bob, my bookkeeper came down with shingles just 3 weeks ago after she had a traffic accident where her car was sideswiped, and it was pretty traumatic. And guess what? A week later, bang, she's got it. And, these things are easily treatable, but not through the medical the library. There's just nothing there.
Well, there are. I mean, they make these attempts using anti-seizure medicines like Neurontin and, oh my gosh, some of the drugs that people have been on that I've seen that have had shingles attempting to reduce the suffering. People are complaining more about the adverse side effects of the drugs they're taking. And again, folks, we're not telling you not to take your drugs. Your doctor's telling you to take, but I'm sharing here with you my experience from a clinician, somebody who's been in the trenches, and 30,000 patient experiences later, and a plentiful supply of shingles rolling through my office doors, and just some of the things that I've noticed. Now, what causes shingles to break out after they're like dormant? Somebody gets over it, they're okay for a while, all of a sudden, bam, they get back again. What generates that, Larry? Do you know?
Well, I don't think it's well known, but I think they find that the trauma gets the fight-flight syndrome going, and that triggers the responses. And then this just emerges because your immune system goes low with the fight-flight syndrome. And that just allows for anything and everything to come out of the woodwork.
Now, when you say trauma, that includes all forms of trauma, right? Emotional trauma, physical trauma, chemical trauma, all traumas, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it can't be just one, because one person's trauma may be another person's joy. I mean, it's the way some people like to argue. I look at that as trauma.
I agree.
All right, let's do this, Larry. You've been kind enough to send over, excuse me, a testimonial of that person that I alluded to. A person that you told me about that called into your company. I'm going to share that with our audience when we come back from this break. Wait until you hear this, folks. Now, Larry, we're going to get to an audio clip that you were so kind to provide for me that I'm going to play to the audience here momentarily. But before we get to that, Larry, can you tell me, are there different forms of shingle? And if so, can you briefly describe them before we get to the audio clip?
Yes. Most people will see the exterior type of shingles that'll appear, say, somewhere on your body, on your torso usually, and you'll find there's a stripe type effect the way they emerge, and that's very, very common. I know my bookkeeper, Ariel, that's what she received. Across her back is what she got it, and that's very, very common. But one that's less common is the internal shingles where you can't see it. It's inside someplace. And this woman coming up here soon, her name is Mary Sperma, and she is 90 years old, telling us her story. So older people, again, this is where you'll find this happens. And she had it internally. And we didn't have enough time to share the entire conversation. It was a 40-minute conversation. So we got it down to the nuts and bolts. But basically what happened is she got it inside of her torso, inside.
Yeah, underneath the skin. That can be extremely painful. I have to correct something you said. I've had, Larry, so many cases of women in their childbearing ages when they became pregnant, or at the end of the pregnancy, or the beginning of the child was just starting to breastfeed. All of a sudden, they get a big breakout of shingles, and sometimes it's on their abdomen, their flank, their back. And again, that's because there was a trauma in their life. That's called birthing, and everything associated with it. So I think, this can. I mean, yes, it is true that it's more common in people as the immune system goes into what is called immunosenescence, as it starts to ebb down. It's just not as hardy as holding back these viruses that we have sequestered that are already inside of our bodies that may have been a remnant from a chickenpox exposure early on. But I'm telling you, I saw plenty of people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s with shingles, and yes, lots of them over 65 as well. So I don't want anybody to get the impression that this is an old folks' disease, because it can strike anybody at any time, and you want to be prepared for this. And I'm glad that at least we're talking about a tool that is safe and effective. We don't know exactly how it works, I don't think, yet, unless Larry can explain it to me that I can understand. But nonetheless, when the body is provided raw materials that props up its ability to adapt to a situation, whether it's an immune system challenge or some other challenge, you're going to be in a whole lot better shape than if those raw materials are not on board and you're sitting there spinning and the virus is winning, and you don't want that. Now, Larry, I'm going to go and I'm going to ask my producer to play this audio clip that you were nice enough to send to me. I said, send it. I want to listen to this person. Listen very carefully, folks, to this person who had shingles. She found out about Tahiti Trader Noni Juice. She took it. Her case is amazing. Yes, it's anecdotal, but it matters. Let's go. Play it.
Good morning. This is Larry. Is this Mary?
This is Mary. I'm doing good. I've been on Noni since 95, and I had inside shingles. The doctor had put me on Neurontin, and it just freaked me out. I'd be out in La La Land. So my friend told me about Noni, and she said, I want you to try it. I got out. I tried it. I got off the Neurontin because that stuff was nasty. Plus, you get addicted to it eventually. I went on the Tahiti Noni. I got off of all that medication, and I've been on it ever since. I take it, every day. I just think that Noni is pretty good. I really do. And I just turned 90 in February. I've been pretty lucky ever since those inside shingles, and I contribute that to my Noni. I just think that Noni is pretty good. I really do.
Oh, really? Oh, my God.
Right. And I just contribute. I think, I swim like 4-5 times a week, and I do aqua jogging exercises in the pool, and I'm still moving around. I contribute that to my Noni.
Now, folks, how would you like to be cognitively as sharp as that young lady? What did you say? How old was she, Larry, did you mention?
She's 90 years old in February, so she's going on 91 now.
Incredible. I just hope my brain is rolling as good as that when I'm in my 90s. Wow, that's amazing. Folks, I know there are going to be people rolling in and out of this conversation. This is perking their ears up because they have either had or know somebody who's had, or they don't want shingles. And we're not saying that Noni is the cure for shingles. We're just sharing with you the opportunity to find out about a fruit juice that's somewhat exotic that you may not have heard of, that is helping people with a very recalcitrant medical condition called shingles, which is really a viral scenario, viral challenge. You can obtain Tahiti Trader Noni Juice in both the island style, which is what I recommend, it's the most therapeutic one, or a delicious blueberry raspberry flavor at finer health food stores, including GNC's, Natural Grocers, Sprouts, Vitamin Shop, or you can go to TahitiTrader.com, TahitiTrader.com, or just pick up the phone and call them toll free, 800-842-5309 for Tahiti Trader Noni Juice. We'll be right back. I'm Dr. Bob Martin. We have a special guest with us by the name of Larry Logsdon. He is a functional food researcher and chemist specializing in the medicinal and health-giving properties and benefits of exotic fruits, specifically Noni Juice. Tahiti Trader Noni Juice. That's what we're talking about. Boy, I wish I would have known about this while I was in practice years ago. I mean, I had tools, and I've helped people with shingles from all kinds of different perspectives, from homeopathy to having them take hot baths to elderberry to olive leaf extract. I would have been happy to include onto that list using Noni as a means by which to give the raw materials to those patients to hasten the healing process, and those who were not wishing to get shingles breakouts because they feared it, just using Noni on a maintenance level on a daily basis. And let's get back to the conversation with our special guest on the topic of shingles in America. Larry Logsdon's with us here talking about that topic. And Larry, that was quite a testimonial there by that young lady, 90-some years young. What is it about Noni Juice, Larry, that you believe helps with this difficult malady?
Well, we know that Noni is a powerful agent for antiviral, bacterial, antifungal, unbelievable properties that it has. So when it enters your system, it's already beginning to fight, number one. Number two, it then stimulates the immune system to kick in and start doing the job that it wants to do, but it's been suppressed through the trauma. Now it's kicking up into full gear, which is very important. And then number three, it acts as a natural analgesic. Okay, this is a big deal because now it's reducing the sensations of pain while it's controlling the COX-2 enzyme, which is what's creating all of the inflammation. So it's a really a wonderful natural product that just allows your body to do what it already wants to do.
All right, for those people looking for Tahiti Trader Noni Juice, they have it in two different forms. Some people enjoy the blueberry raspberry flavor. That's good. And the one that I prefer, therapeutically anyway, is called Island Style. May not taste as good as the blueberry or raspberry flavor, but I'll tell you what, it has some potency to it, and it'll get right after helping that immune system come back up on all 8 cylinders, if you will, so that it can go out and surveil and help you with things that are trying to take you down. If you're looking for Tahiti Trader Noni Juice, look at GNC, General Nutrition Centers, Natural Grocers, Sprouts, Vitamin Shop, or go to TahitiTrader.com, TahitiTrader.com, or you can call them 800-842-5309. All right, Larry, it's lightning round time. That means we're going to try to move through a bunch of material here before we get clipped by the clock coming up. Which form of shingles, Larry, is most common? The one that is external or internal that you've been able to find out in your research?
Well, Bob, you see most commonly the external one that erupts onto somewhere on the exterior of the skin somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what is, and I know a lot of people also have heard of this perhaps that have had the condition because their doctors tell them what it is, but can you just briefly explain what is post-herpetic neuralgia, and have you been able to demonstrate that drinking Tahiti Trader Noni Juice helps that as well, either internally or externally?
Absolutely. It works very well. Taken internally, drink it every day.
How much, Larry? How much?
Well, about 2 ounces in the morning and 2 ounces in the evening on an empty stomach, and sip it nice and slow so it gets absorbed in your system. Now, my bookkeeper, Ariel, she had the same problem. And afterwards, she had the same problem, post-herpetic syndrome, where she had all this nerve excitement. And the day she didn't take the Noni, she said, oh, my God, I noticed it. And then I took my course of Noni because already it's better. So this is something your body wants. It wants to manage these things in your life.
All right, now I'm going to insert this. I want people, because I know there are people that are now saying, well, hey, all I need to do is go get a shingles shot and get a shingles vaccine. Let me tell you, folks, there's no guarantee whatsoever if you get a shingles shot or a vaccine. I don't care how many times they try to fool you with the numbers. It's 90-some% effective. I mean, they told us about COVID. If you take the shot, you won't get it. If you take the shot, you can't give it. We all know that's a bunch of you know what? It didn't happen. And here's another vaccine to pile on. I don't know. We're not going to talk you out of it, but my goodness, if nature is providing some tool that doesn't have potential adverse side effects, wouldn't you want to know about it? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about with the Tahiti Trader Noni Juice. Are there any potential adverse side effects of taking or drinking Noni Juice, Larry?
Oh, you're only going to feel better. That's all.
Well, I think that pretty much sums it up. All right, okay, so can you take it with, let's say you're on other supplements or pharmaceutical drugs? Will it interfere with any of that if you're sipping on the island style or the Tahiti Trader Noni that's flavored with blueberry and raspberry?
It'll actually help them work better. So if you're taking other supplements, take the Noni with it.
And that makes sense. All right. Well, folks, there you've heard it. Tahiti Trader Noni Juice available in both island style. If you want it therapeutically, that's the one to get. But if you want delicious raspberry blueberry, they've got that too. Available at GNC stores, Natural Grocers, Sprouts, Vitamin Shop, or simply go to TahitiTrader.com. TahitiTrader.com. Larry Logsdon, thank you for the interview.
Thanks for joining us on Wellness Made Easy. To learn more about natural tools like Tahiti Trader Noni Juice, follow us on social media or visit TahitiTrader.com. Your health journey starts here.